This is episode 53 of Real Occult, where we apply numerology and astrology to the material world. Today, we are talking about how to simplify our lives utilizing numerology and astrology. And the reason for simplifying our lives is to eliminate stress, overwhelm, confusion, anxiety, worry, all of these emotions that pull down our energy. They do not breathe life into us. They suck the life out of us. And so we are replacing these emotions, these sensations, with spiritual clarity and divine levels of confidence. So let's jump right into it. How do we simplify our life with numerology and astrology? Well, the first thing we are going to talk about is, what does it mean to simplify our life? Most of us, myself included, we have more than one main interest. We have more than one hobby. We have a job, a business, something that we do to generate income. We also have multiple things on the side that maybe we wish we would be able to do, along with kids, family, friends. The point being, almost every single one of us is being pulled in multiple directions. So now, how do we strategize what we do and what we do not do? When do we do it? If we are going to do it, we decided we are going to do it. When do we do it? How do we do it? How long do we do it? All of these questions can be answered with numerology and astrology. So, as a human being, we have a finite number of resources. We only have 24 hours in a day. We only have so much physical energy in those 24 hours. We only have so many material resources: food, water, money. If you run a business, employees, if you manage a team, assistants and helpers, we only have so many resources. So we have a limited number of resources, and we have an unlimited number of options, an unlimited number of ways that we can deploy this limited set of resources. Numerology and astrology gives us insight into the best ways to deploy our resources in order to get the results that we want, get the outcomes that we desire. And when we don't get those outcomes, we don't get the results, the universe is still giving us feedback that we can once again utilize numerology and astrology to decipher the clues as to what the universe is trying to tell us, what lessons it's trying to teach us, so that we can learn these lessons, then demonstrate to the universe we have learned our lesson by changing our actions, same conditions, set of circumstances, and we act differently. By definition, we have learned. And so this ties in a little bit with the 3 layers of karma, but we are not going to get into that. I've already done a podcast on that previously, so if you're interested, you can go check that out, the 3 layers of karma. And so the middle layer, really fast, the current karma, is where this would tie into, this idea of deciphering the lessons the universe is teaching us and changing our actions. That's all right there in the middle layer. And then the created karma at the top is the status of our learning, whether or not we do change our behavior when we are in the same set of conditions. So that gives in the universe insight into the status of our learning, our created karma at the top, the middle layer, the current karma, which is the planetary transits we're currently going through, our personal years, our personal months, our personal days, the universal year and how all of those universal year, universal month, universal day, and how all of these layers of moving energy are stacking on top of each other, on top of our base level of karma, the accumulated karma we have from previous lifetimes that is imprinted into us from the day of our birth. So that's the day we're born, the year we're born, the month we're born, the time we are born, so that we could get the layout of the birth chart that lays the foundation for the types of experiences we are going to have in this lifetime. And now as we move through our life, we have this current level of karma that is giving us insight into what we can expect during this period or season of our life. The created karma at the top layer, is the status of our learning. Newton's third law: for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Right? So we are every moment of every day telling the universe through our actions the status of our learning, how far along we are learning these lessons. And because we were born into this place, one day we opened our eyes and we're here. And then fast forward a couple years, and now all of a sudden we're starting to remember stuff. And then fast forward more years, and now we're a kid running around playing. And then fast forward a handful more years, and we're a teenager doing stuff. And then fast forward again, and now we are a grown adult, whatever that means. But one day we just opened our eyes and we were here. And then we started remembering things. And then we started learning stuff. And so the universe knows exactly what makes us tick. It knows our exact desires, our motivations, our goals, what we're afraid of, what we worry about. And because of that, it can deliver with pinpoint precision and accuracy the exact experiences we have to have in the exact moment we need to have them in order to learn these lessons. We go through all of these experiences in order to learn the lessons we are meant to learn in this lifetime. There is no escaping the set of lessons we are born to learn. Saturn with its ring ensures that there is no escaping Saturn's ring, no matter how much you want to try. If you resist life, Saturn's ring is going to pull you forward. If you're trying to speed through life, Saturn's ring is going to keep throwing up roadblocks. There is no escaping these experiences that are going to bring us the lessons we're meant to learn. So how do we simplify our life to gain this clarity and confidence? The first step is to simply take a peek at the year you are born in, the universal year you were born in. That gives us insight into the overall role we are meant to fulfill in this lifetime. If you are born in and so how you do that is you add up each digit of the year, and then you simplify it down to a single digit. And so if you're born in 1999, 1 plus 9, 10 plus 9, 19 plus 9, 28. Jeez Louise. So we have 28. 2 and 8 combined together, again, 1, 0. 0 is just a magnifier. So we have a 1 universal year. We are at the beginning. We are the first year in a new 9-year cycle. All of the universal years roll in a 9-year cycle. So you're a 1. You are meant to fulfill the role of a 1 energy. You're meant to fulfill the role of 1 energy for society at large. If you are born in 1998, 1 year prior, you are a 9 universal year. That's the role you are meant to fulfill in society. The month and day gives us insight into how we are going to go about doing that, and you combine them all together to get your life path, gives us insight into the way we navigate the themes and activities we can expect to be present in our life. The day we are born itself, the day energy, the energy from the day we are born gives us insight and describes how we actually go about fulfilling the role, how we actually go about completing our life path. So that's how those 3 digits stack and layer on top of each other to give us more insight into what we are meant to do. If you're interested in this type of more technical application, check out the YouTube Tristan Garrett Mueller. It's where I do more of that type of stuff. The podcast here is just me sharing my ideas whenever the inspiration bug hits me. Whenever I get hit with that zap of inspiration, I record one of these pretty much off the cuff for you. If you're interested in technical insight, that would be the YouTube page, Tristan Garrett Mueller. You could search that YouTube. You could search that on Google, Tristan Garrett Mueller YouTube, and it'll probably come up, most likely. And so how do we utilize these insights into actually simplifying our life? I'll give you an example. So I run I pretty much solely work with families with the application of numerology and astrology and our multi-layered system. And so I run a before school and after school program. We have 164 kids in the program. We'll have anywhere between like 60 and 90 kids present at one time. And so dealing with a lot of families, dealing with a lot of kids with a lot of different energies. And so what you can do is, instead of trying to force your child, this is how you can start to simplify things. Instead of trying to force your child into something that they do not want to do, you can take a peek at their numbers. You can take a peek at their imprinted energy from their birth chart and see what goes with that energy, what types of activities or themes go with that energy. So here's an example. We have a mom whose oldest son is baseball player, goes to college, is playing baseball. Youngest son is still in elementary schooler. And so she really wants him to be into sports. They already have all of the equipment. They already have all the cleats. They already have everything they need for him to play sports. He's very active. He likes to constantly be engaged with stuff. He likes to do stuff with his hands. He's a very engaging child. So mom says, perfect, we'll put him into sports. Well, he doesn't like baseball. He can't pay attention. He does not like to pay attention. He is on the smaller side, so football or rugby or something like that is not necessarily best suited for his body type. They have no desire to play hockey or anything like that. No one in the family is into hockey. I live in the desert, and so they're not interested in dressage or anything like that, any horse type sports, polo or anything like that. It's not around where I'm at. And so they're banging their head against the wall. Maybe he likes soccer. Well, he doesn't like soccer, so we're just going to try to force him to play baseball. And it's not working. So now there's issues at home. There's issues now in the program because homie's peeved off all the time. So what can we do? Well, we could take a peek at his birth chart and realize, oh, wow, you are correct, mom and dad. He does absolutely need something to do with his hands. It's directly there in his birth chart. He needs to be able to express himself through movement, through activity in his 5th house. He needs that. You're correct. Where the nuance comes in is this is artistic expression. This is not a competitive desire. This is not a winning desire. Homie don't care at all about winning or losing or competing. It's not in his energy. In anywhere. It's not in his universal year. He's a 6. It's like he's here to bring people together. He's here to be the glue. He's here to create beautiful, warm, welcoming environments. He, within his month and day of birth, he's got all this soft, feminine, expressive energy, very intuitive energy, very intelligent as well. And so I'm like, okay, he's an artist. So we have a couple of options now. We can eliminate sports. If we try to force him into sports, it's going to be continuing to do this 3-year, every few months, it's a new desire. Now we're having to buy more equipment, that then he doesn't use the equipment. And then we're trying to put him into fencing classes, but he doesn't like to fence because he's not competitive and he doesn't want to beat the other person. He just wants to sit here and play with the sword. So it's like all of these things keep happening. And now mom's stressed out, dad's stressed out because they don't know what's going on and kid's miserable. So we can simplify everything down by looking at the imprinted energy and say, fantastic, you are correct about everything. The application is just slightly off. Let's stick him in some art classes and see what he gravitates to. Sure enough, homie loves clay. So guess what? He's sitting here building cups, building tables, building bird dishes for water, for the birds to drink water out of. All out of clay. Once he builds them and they go in the kiln and they get all glazed and everything, homie's painting them up, creating beautiful designs. He's in elementary school. If he continues to do this, by the time he's in high school, dude can be selling vases for money. Is going to have a skill that he can apply in other areas of his life. But if we keep forcing him into sports, we're going to continue to have problems. So we can simplify things by looking at this energy. That's probably a convoluted example. And it was a long example as well. But I hope that kind of makes sense, at least to start getting you to think about whether or not I should even be engaging in this activity based on my natural energy and my natural inclinations. For most of us, we have numerous things that we can just eliminate from our life because they're not suited for us. And because we're still trying to pursue them, or we're trying to push our children, push our friends into these endeavors, it's draining us of energy instead of breathing life and inspiration into our world. And so everyone's born with this authentic set of energy, and the more we are able to express, pursue, and fulfill this individual energetic disposition, the better off the world is as a whole. He could be an unbelievable artist who creates beautiful pieces that people show in their houses all across the world. And if we continue to try to push him into sports, the world's missing out on these beautiful artistic pieces. And that's just an example with a child. You can have the exact same thing as a grown male or female without kids. You're pursuing a career in law, yet every single thing about your imprinted energy, the year you're born, the day you're born, your birth chart says you need to be in a free-flowing, happy, unstructured career or profession with your 10th house and your 2nd house and the way everything lines up and the planets in each one of these houses. And if you continue to pursue law, sure, you'll make a bunch of money, or you'll make some money, you'll make decent money. Sure, maybe you'll get some promotions. Sure, you might end up with some golden handcuffs where you're making enough and now you have enough material comforts that you don't want to lose, so you continue to spend 15, 20, 30 years in this profession that kind of drains you. And there's a difference between having hard days and doing something that's constantly draining you. And so instead of trying to pursue something that is not going to be supported by your energy, which then means the universe is constantly going to have to deliver painful, challenging hardships and experiences to try to get you to learn your lesson. You can use these occult tools to decipher the lessons before you have to go through the painful experience. Or better said, you can decipher the lessons off of the hints that you get, because there is no escaping pain in this universe. You could be the best numerologist, the best astrologist on the planet, and you won't be able to avoid pain. You won't be able to avoid hardship, struggle, challenges, barriers, obstacles. The whole point of all this is to make those moments worth it. If you're born in April on the 4th in a 4 universal year, being in a job, profession that's highly structured, highly routine, very disciplined, requires discipline, that's an amazing fit for you. If that type of person is in a high, free-flowing environment, sure, you can have some success, but that's not the role you're meant to fulfill unless, and here's where the caveat comes in, because every single person is unique and every single person's circumstances and experiences are unique, which is why I personally hate generalized, like it grinds my gears so bad, this generalized pop style astrology and numerology advice, because we are all at different stages on different journeys and at different points along that journey within each stage. So some of us, the stages, beginning, middle, end stages, some of us are at the end of the beginning stage, but we're 2/3 of the way through our journey. We're an old soul who has tons of accumulated experience and lessons. And so we are at the end of this stage, but we're further along. We're at the end of that beginning stage, but we are further along in our overarching multi-lifetime journey. So you have to apply this advice to your specific circumstances with your specific set of resources you have to utilize, with your desires, ambitions, goals, and tailor all of this to you as an individual, or like what I do as a family unit. Because like I said, I mainly focus on families and helping families do this. So I'm forgetting what I thought. I think I might have been making a point before I talking about tailoring everything to you specifically. But it's super important. Everything has to be tailored to you specifically, with your circumstances, with your set of resources and your desires, outcomes that you are trying to achieve. Because the universe is going to be giving you a feedback that is painful and challenging. So I remember what I was saying. Feedback that is painful and challenging for one person, that is the sign or clue that you are in the wrong thing. You're attempting to achieve the wrong thing. You're pursuing the wrong goal based on your energetic disposition. Can be the exact same experience that someone else has that tells them they're on the right path. So that person born in 4 energy month, 4 day energy in a 4 energy year with a 4 life path or something, for example. Actually, no, you wouldn't be 4 life path. I digress. Someone with tons and tons of 4 energy, right? If you are the person who's bringing structure to a highly free-flowing environment, you are fulfilling your role perfectly. And now you're going to learn lessons around how to blend structure and kind of free-flowing flow. You're going to learn how to blend structure and flow. If you're someone who's all about flow, intuition, kind of in the moment, and you're working in a highly disciplined, structured environment, yet you are the person bringing and creating some free flowiness within that environment, you could be fulfilling your role as well by helping people loosen up, relax, realize we're all just playing this video game that is life. Because one day we opened our eyes, and then another day we started remembering things, and then eventually we started learning stuff, and now we are here. So the same set of numbers with the same, not the same, but similar energies can get and have the universe deliver them very similar experiences, and those experiences are trying to teach two different lessons entirely. One lesson could be, hey, you need to learn how to persevere and push through these challenges, hardships, and barriers. For a different person with similar energy and similar circumstances or experiences that are happening, that could be the universe telling them, hey, you need to learn how to flow. You need to learn how to pivot. You need to learn how to adjust. You need to learn how to cut your losses. Sunk cost fallacy types of lessons. And so this has gotten, how long are we? Holy moly. This has gotten way longer than I anticipated. I genuinely appreciate you for listening if you still are. The whole point is we can simplify our life by eliminating all of the things that do not align with our natural imprinted energy from our birth, the things that do not align with the role we are meant to fulfill, the things that do not align with our karmic destiny. When we eliminate these things, we cut them out of our life and focus on the role we are supposed to fulfill, the way we are supposed to fulfill it, by going through the experiences we are meant to have in order to learn the lessons we have to learn in this lifetime. We are left with spiritual clarity and divine levels of confidence, along with being able to assist the world at large by fulfilling that role, by fulfilling our karmic destiny in order to help the universe. Just like the bees in the beehive, they have different roles, and the better they fulfill their role, the better off the entire hive is. Us as human beings are very much the same. If you've made it this far, the universe genuinely, truly wants you to win. I also want you to win. I am unbelievably grateful for you listening, and I will talk to you again soon.